The third primary ingredient of concrete, which again makes up the volume of your concrete, is water. And that's the most important ingredient because it has such a dominant effect on so many characteristics of your concrete. The rule of thumb is to use as little water as possible when you make the concrete and as much water as possible after it's hard when you're curing it. So use it sparingly when you're designing your mix. Plan on using less. When you're making the concrete, measure it out very precisely and use it liberally when you're curing it. Keep the concrete wet. This characteristic of, or this want and this tendency to add water to increase your workability is perhaps the number one reason why there are so many problems with concrete. Water has such a profound influence on so many different factors of your concrete, not just strength, but color and appearance and porosity. It should never be used like a seasoning just to add water to achieve a certain oatmeal-like characteristic or a mushy characteristic. It's such an important ingredient that it needs to be dosed carefully. And here's a good example that helps you understand that. For instance, I want to make a glass of grape Kool-Aid. So I have one packet of dry Kool-Aid powder, and I add it to the glass, and I follow the instructions. I add water to the glass and mix it up. Now you want some, but I only have one packet of Kool-Aid. So I take your glass, empty half of what I have into your glass, and then fill both glasses with water to now fill both glasses. And what I've done is I've made more Kool-Aid, but it's very obvious to see that what I've done is I've diluted it. So now if you tasted it, it's going to taste weaker and the color is going to be lighter. And if we kept adding more water, it would get lighter and lighter and more dilute. And that's a direct description of what happens with concrete when you just simply add more water. It dilutes the glue that holds everything together. And if you stand there with a hose adding water to your mixer, you have no idea how far you're diluting it. So you really don't know what kind of concrete you're making. If you think about the Kool-Aid powder as your cement, and the water is the water, of course, the ratio of the water to cement is the descriptive characteristic that we're talking about here. And this ratio of pounds of water or kilograms of water to pounds or kilograms of cement in your concrete is known as the water-cement ratio. And it's sort of the descriptive number that you can use to gauge the quality of your concrete. And it is basically how you can determine whether your concrete is going to be good or not. The lower the water-cement ratio, the less water you use relative to your cement, the stronger the concrete's going to be, the richer the colors, and the more water you add, the more you dilute it. Because cement particles are actual physical particles, they don't dissolve like sugar in water, we have to look at how do those particles react and how does this relate to Kool-Aid at all. So with very low water-cement ratios, lots of cement, very little water, the particles in that water mixture are very close together. And why that's important, why that's desirable, is that as those particles react with water, we're starting a chemical reaction when we add water and cement together, those particles are growing calcium silicate hydrate crystals. So these crystals are what really are holding everything together. They are the concrete, the cement that glues everything together to form the concrete. And the closer those particles are together, the faster they start setting up. And because the particle spacing is close, the crystals form soon and they grow strong. And the space between the particles is small, so there's not a whole lot of water trapped in between, so the porosity of the concrete is low. The more water that's added, the farther those particles are separated, so the crystals that have to form to bridge it all together, it takes longer for that to happen. So the set time is longer. But because those are long, slender, fragile crystals, the concrete is weaker, and there's a lot more space in between, so the concrete's more porous. And that's what you get when you have concrete that has a high water-cement ratio. When we're making concrete countertop concrete, that would be anything above a 0.45. In conventional construction concrete, that would be considered quite low. But for us, because we need such a high-quality concrete, that's considered very high. Again, the moral of the story is more water is bad. Now, once our concrete does set, once it turns from a fluid to a solid, things change. Now we have to think of our cement particles as little seeds. When you plant a seed in the ground, to make it grow, you have to add water. And then you have to keep it wet. Because if that plant starts growing and then it suddenly dies out, that's it, the plant dies. It's never going to get any bigger. If our concrete dries out, the cement particles stop. They don't have any water. They stop hydrating. So whatever strength we had when it dried out, that's it. Curing is the process of maintaining the internal moisture of our concrete. The longer it stays wet, the stronger it's going to be. The longer it stays wet, the richer that color is going to be. It's a delicate balance of how long do we cure. Typically, concrete is wet cured for roughly 7 days before it starts to dry out. Now that doesn't mean we're not working on it in that time, but it's not like it has to be wet under plastic for 28 days. Our concrete that we're making can start to dry out, start that drying process a lot sooner because it gains a lot higher strength earlier on.